to talk about How to Get Away with Murder, Episode 11, Best Christmas Ever. And Rebecca was the one that said the title of this episode. We're coming back from Christmas holidays, and it was cool to see some of the people go home and then some stay around and everything. So we see some backstory, and I hope we see some more. I'm probably going to go out of order. So we see Annalise in the hotel crying. I don't know if it's about guilt or... I mean, she do have a lot of stuff weighed on her because she portrays this strong person, but, you know, behind closed doors, she take off a wig and she gets alone, she cries. So she stayed the whole time. She avoided everybody's phone calls, but she lied and told Bunny she was going to her mother's house. And then Hannah, I mean, that's something easily you can verify. I mean, of course, she probably would verify. Annalise didn't see her before she left, which she avoided her, but Hannah was still there. And her whole thing was, which I agree, your husband is missing, and you leave and you don't care, and he didn't tell you that he killed this woman, and you're a defense attorney. Then we found out that Sam hung out with her the day after Lila died, and that was Labor Day weekend. Annalise, your husband's missing and you go with your lover, and Hannah follows you, and you have the audacity to ask her to come in. That's some bold stuff. Okay, my thing about the whole Nate and Annalise. Nate wants to sit here and say that he told his wife about Annalise and his wife wanted him to be happy. Because if I'm the wife, I'm about to die. Okay, you can't keep your pants on until I die? Really? Like, how disrespectful that is. And then Annalise had the audacity to be like, I'm glad you found her. Does it matter? I felt that was disrespectful. So West is having nightmares, and Rebecca and him stay at the apartment for holidays. I mean, we don't know his past, but I don't think it's great, and then her past is not great. So the guy that lived there before, Rudy, got a letter, and Wes is like, they don't know he moved? And so it was his grandmother, which, I mean, grandma sometimes, you know, at a wedding, then he didn't go home, and Rebecca wanted to open the letter and stuff, so he had money in there. She's just so nonchalant about everything. I don't like this. I'm suspect about that. And she lied, because when she told Wes that she didn't really talk to him, but when she first came over there to take a shower, she said she didn't like his setup. She liked Rudy's setup. And then also in that bathroom, there was a hidden compartment that she left Lila's phone. How would you know that unless you've been there and you have been talking to him, unless you've been in that apartment before he was living there? And Wes is still having these nightmares, and so those scratches, I think, will play. I looked on Wikipedia, and maybe, I think, in 2 or 3 episodes, it says what happened with Lila. So we'll probably see who really killed Lila, because I really don't think it's Sam. It's just too much evidence pointing that way. So we see Laura. Laura go home in West Palm Beach. Oh my goodness, she is rich. They have a beautiful home. I think she has a brother and a sister, and it looks like she is the serious one and everything, and they kind of overlook her, and her mom just want her to get married and probably be a house wife. I don't know, but she pretty much kind of started something so she can go back to school. So when she comes back, she tells Frank about Connor's car, because that's where they got rid of the body, because probably Annalise didn't know how they got the body and everything. So he stole Connor's car and got rid of it. Then he gave fake lead to the police that they saw Frank. And then what was the other thing? Oh, then he asked Annalise if he want her to take care of Hannah. I mean, that would be obvious. Frank, I'm not sure exactly what Frank do. I know he do dirty work, but he's not that great at being clean about it. And it's funny because him and Laura, like, even though he doesn't admit anything, he just thinks it's funny. And he also became friends or buddy with Asher to make sure if he suspect anything, then he can kind of lead him astray. So Asher didn't go home, and I'm thinking, well, I think he's from there, because when they had the episode and he was talking to his dad, I guess it wasn't far, so him and his dad probably aren't on good terms, but he was hanging out with Frank, and he was asking about Bunny, so I think Frank kind of knows that he probably do care about Bunny, but Bunny's family is messed up, so she didn't go home. I don't know where Bunny lives. I don't know if she stayed in the basement with Annalise's house. I don't know. So Connor goes home in Michigan, or he goes to his sister's house, and his sister and his mom pretty much want him to settle down with a guy, and she even brought him a guy because she know her brother's a whore. And at first I thought he was gonna tell her about the murder, but I felt like he wasn't. But he really likes Oliver. So it's funny, he's not a whore. He would have any other time slept with that guy, but he didn't. He really liked Oliver, so he comes back and talks to Oliver. So anyway, Oliver admits that he likes him, so they probably gonna get back together, but just gonna take it slow. And then we have Michaela. Michaela was with Aiden, and then she had been drinking. She's not handling it well because, you know, it's possibly jeopardized everything she wants and worked for and recreated. And so she sees her fiance talking to a guy, and it did look kind of close and everything. And so she asked him, "Are they screwing?" But it was a co-worker. So she embarrassed Aiden, and then also find out that she slept at the parents' house all the time, which I don't really think that that's like that big a deal because she's been working and going to school, so it is a lot. But he called off the wedding. But it's just funny to see how she always make things seem so wonderful, because when they came back to school, which first Wes and Connor came in, I guess at the same time, and then Laura was like, "I'm so glad to see you," and she hugged Wes and didn't hug Connor, even though we know Connor mad, but she didn't even try to hug him. And then Michaela came with a fake ring. It's like everything's perfect. And Laura tried to talk to them at the end, but then they didn't want to talk to her. Connor don't trust anybody, and also because she told, but she did that to help them benefit. And then they all met Hannah because only Connor had saw her, and they didn't see her until then. So she's like, "Who are you?" Which I already feel like she knows everything. And then we have Bonnie, which we didn't see Bonnie go home. We didn't see anything about Bonnie. We don't know where Bonnie lived. We just don't know anything about Bonnie. And then Hannah tried to guilt her and was like, "You know how important you were to Sam." Just wondering, I'm thinking seriously, whatever she is to Sam is gonna play important. I don't know. Either she is his ex-wife, she was an Annalise student, and she was having an affair with him, and Annalise found out, and so that's why she's so submissive to her, because she feels guilty. Or, I mean, that's the only two conclusions that I have. I mean, at first I thought maybe they were related, but I mean, he kissed her. So I just feel it's one of that. Or they were about to have a relationship. So something happened where Annalise found out, and I don't know. And then Asher, I wanted her to man up. Man up. Asher was sitting here because she like hurt his feelings and stuff, because she told him it was a one-time thing, like let it go, and he already got feelings for her and stuff. So he sit here and like disrespected her. Like, okay. So they had a case where this lady was raped and everything with her husband when she was younger, and then he kidnapped 2 women and held them hostage. And she came in, so they morally thought that they should not represent, but at least like y'all never did anything to warrant a lawyer, so that kind of made them have to shut up. And then Asher was the one that was so vocal, but then he's sitting there, he said he don't want to do it, but I told him, well, you can go somewhere else. And then he was like, oh, sexual harassment. So he was totally mean to her just because his feelings were hurt. But I wanted her to put him in his place, but she didn't. So let's go right quick to the case. So the lady wanted to do what Annalise did and get rid of her husband, but basically she really wanted to get rid of her husband so she can raise the kid. The kid came from one of the girls, and so the girl, they lied and said that she lost the baby. Then the husband and wife had the baby, but then she lied to the husband and said that the baby died, but she really wanted to turn him in so she can keep the baby. So they found out that she had the baby because she was lying about it, and the baby was left alone in a cabin by herself. So Annalise lied to her, and she got no deal. So the baby went back to the original mom. And Annalise was like, you're not the only one that good at lying in this room. That's key. That's key. And then at the end, we find out that they found Sam's body, but they had found it a week ago.